All right, what's going on, folks? It's CJ here, live at Blerdcon with my man,
Burnham.
Greg Burnham, that's it?
Yeah, I write, like I'm a writer and a publisher. I write children's books and comic books and more comic books. I co-write this with my man, Marcus Williams, who's right there. And yeah.
I mean, we know you
since
we've known you since the beginning, man.
Since forever.
Since forever, man. I feel like every convention, like, hey, what's up, Greg? So, I guess, new for you, you did the Milestone Initiative. Seeing you in the Milestone doc on HBO, like...
Yeah, they flashed my face a little bit.
I mean, look, there's more than the flash. You saw you, I was like, I know that guy.
I still brag to everybody, yo, I'm on HBO, son. So yeah.
I mean, what is that like to actually? I feel that it feels like that was full circle for you to be doing this, and then boom, you're doing Milestone. Like, how was that like being in that room?
So I feel like I started backwards. Most people like get into fight to get into DC, Marvel, and all that. And then when they get like a name, then they start doing indie. So I did it the other way. So it's like reverse engineered. But Marcus and I, like we're spies. We soak up in, So we're there, and I'm just learning. They're like, you already do this. You should be good. I'm like, no, I want to learn your process. And so it was amazing, man, to understand the machine. I'm so less judgmental about writers and artists and all that, because when you understand the machine, you understand the way deadlines work and how they pass it from here, place to place. It was amazing. I'm really glad I learned it.
So when you wrote that story for Icon in that book, like what was your process doing that? Did they tell you can only go through different
so we all got assigned editors, and then we had like an instructor, Amy Chu, phenomenal writer, and she was like our class instructor. So they kind of broke it down the way that they do. So it was like, come up with the pitch gets approved, come up with like a longer detail, everything that's going to happen, and then from there it was do a page breakdown. And once you get the page breakdown approved, you do a panel page breakdown. So now it's like panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4, whatever. And then after that gets approved, the next step was, okay, go ahead and start writing the dialogue and all that kind of stuff. So it was like step by step. And like for us, doing indie, it's like guerrilla warfare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, hey dog, you want to do page 1? All right, here's what happens on page 1. You know what I'm saying?
It feels very early image.
Right.
Where it's just freestyle.
So this is more like, no, before the artist gets started, you need to have all this information.
Wow.
So an 8-page script turns out to be like 20 pages. You know what I mean? Of writing, because you're given instructions. So it was really great to understand that, because at the end of it, it's like you're able to write a script that anybody can use, like any comic company, anybody can use, and it's a one-stop type of thing.
So I mean, past that book, can you actually, say if you're doing any other projects? Or
So now it's, once it hits the previews, it's like I'm allowed to talk about it. So a couple of weeks ago in the previews, it was announced the Halloween anthology, which it's going to be called Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun. It's supposed to be out on October 4th.
Okay.
And I'm writing a story with a guy called Superman. The Clark Kent Superman guy. It's pretty excited about that.
Look, man, do you feel this is going to actually, regardless of you writing for DC, how does that relate to you actually still keeping up with Tuskegee Heirs and some of the small?
Man, I'm full steam go. I'm working on like 5 or 6 books right now. Because, you write a script, and then you're like, once you do that, you're more just like in director mode. So, like, I was just talking to Sean Hill, who's a phenomenal artist, trying to see if he's going to work on something I'm doing with a publisher. And like I wrote that script, I turned that script in a week ago. So it's now all I'm doing is like oh yeah, no, her fingers, you know, like that kind of stuff. So writing, and like that was another thing, you know, doing in the initiative. We got to talk with other professionals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's guys that's working on like 8-9 books that are coming out monthly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you're not built for it, then you ain't built for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, do you feel like being in that room, like you said, it gave you a different perspective on things? So do you feel that helps you in terms of if somebody asks you, like, hey, how do I get in the comedy industry? Do you feel you'd be able to tell them like a very good, thorough kind of explanation, or is it still kind of like a toss-up at this point?
So art is, they need more artists more than they need writers.
Okay.
So it's really, really hard to get in as a writer. Doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah.
But what I did, and I had several people tell me, this speaks more than anything that I could say in an interview or I could say online. The fact that I'm producing like all this stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, we see you're serious about it, so that can help. But also you get more experience, like, so you keep working. So like, anytime somebody comes to me and it's like, oh man, I think you're a great writer, I'm like, I am, you know, I'm like constantly learning. David Walker is a great writer. Rodney Barnes is a great writer. Gail Simone is a great writer. You know, those are the people I look up to. So I'm like, I look at my stuff, I'm like,
it's all right.
you can do a little better. I'm a former athlete, so like, when I get on the basketball court, I'm sizing people up, man. Being honest, like, okay, this dude better than me. I gotta figure out how to get, you know. And so that's always my mindset. But it's funny because if you talk to the greatest writers, they have the same mindset. It's like, I don't think I'm that great, man. I got a lot more work to do. You know?
Yeah, it's like a downplay kind of.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think it's downplay. I think to be really great at something, take Michael Jordan. You know, like, he's the hardest working guy. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant, like these dudes, LeBron, these dudes work circles around, you know, everybody else. Dudes come in, they go to practice and leave. These cats be here for the 2 hours before, 2 hours after. So I always feel like to be the greatest, there is a humility that's gonna cause you to keep working to get better.
Yes. So lastly, you have been grinding out on conventions as long as you've been going to it, you know, and stuff. So has it been fun kind of seeing the evolution, whether it's Blerdcon or any conventions, and just seeing where everything's at creatively and all that stuff?
Yeah, like, so Blerdcon is a monster. It started, like, the first year, it was pretty, you know, pretty good monster. But we're doing a interview thing. Just jumping in the camera. But, so it's like some of the shows that we've seen where, you know, the first year you go to the show and people don't know what to do at a comic convention. Like, they buy, you know, they walk in, walk around one time and leave, you know. So watching, you know, like some of these smaller cities, some of the smaller cons, like, just continue to evolve to now they're like head on fire like this, you know. So that's really wonderful. See, when we first started coming to cons, it would be like maybe, you know, like to the, you know, predominantly white stuff, it would be like maybe 5 of us, and our stuff would stand out because even then you had like black artists that were drawing white, you know, and so I feel like in a way, now we get to walk around and we see a whole bunch of tables with black stuff on it. I mean, because that was see that, right?
I mean, that was like, to be honest, that was the first time that we saw you guys, like, y'all artwork like stood out easily. It was like, let me check this out, and then boom, we were like cooked immediately. Like, I even got younger cousins that saw some of your Boondocks artwork, and they're like, "Where'd you get that from?" I was like, "Oh no, I got it from this guy that I know from conventions. He's really good."
And so now you see like a lot of that now, and that makes me feel great, just in itself, because there's I remember, because Marcus, you know, he's got like mainstream art. He was doing, you know, like mainstream stuff, and you know, like we got, I think, AwesomeCon, I think, was our first convention that we came as Tuskegee Heirs, and we just had a bunch of black people, posters, and children's books. We didn't even have Tuskegee yet, and
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, actually, I do remember that.
We couldn't get up from the table. And it was white people, it was everybody. We couldn't leave the table. We're selling posters and children's books. I think that's all we had.
Yeah.
And like that Saturday, we absolutely, neither one of us could get up. It was just packed the whole time. And it was such a, like a validating feeling because, like older generation, like we're explicitly told stuff like this won't work.
Yeah.
You got too many black kids.
Yeah.
Black people don't buy this stuff. Don't nobody want to buy this stuff. We were told that, like we were raised thinking that.
Yeah.
So like when the people proved that that was nonsense, like with the Kickstarter, we didn't even have a huge following back then.
Yeah.
And the people was like, oh,
I'll take it.
Raised $74,000. You know what I mean? So
you feel the void.
Yeah, so it's like it's that validation, but it's not from these people sitting in offices with their suits on. It's from the actual consumer. That's like, get out of the way. I want this. So all of it, man. It's just keeps getting better. And you see all these people in here, and everybody's starting to get money and get their projects noticed, and that's huge.
But it's been nice talking to you, man. I mean, we see you every year, man, so it's always a joy seeing you and Marcus, y'all doing y'all thing and stuff. And I'm always glad that I can introduce other people that might not have seen your stuff, and it's great. So I appreciate you taking time out. And good luck on
I gotta
DC
plug
numbers.
this.
Yeah, plug in what you got.
I just launched a Kickstarter for this thing right now. It went live, Friday?
Yeah.
And so we're almost like halfway funded. So the Search For Sadiqah, people seem to like the story. I can't stop them from liking it, so I gotta keep making it.
All right, cool. Well, appreciate you taking the time, man. We'll holler at you later.
All right.
Peace out.